Hi friends, and welcome back to the Wellness Junction Podcast. My name is Jordana and it is so exciting to be back with you again. Happy new month! May is here with us and that means we are closing in on the first half of the year, and who can believe that it is already May? Who can believe that it's already May? Time flies so much, and lately I've just been thinking about the dissonance, as it were, between how some days move very slowly but then the years move so fast, and so we find ourselves yet again within a year that is just going at almost breakneck speed, but then again some days still feel very slow. So thank you so much for being here. This makes our February, March, April, this is almost like our third month of being on air, and we have now a couple of episodes in the bag. And thank you all so much for all of you who have been listening in. I truly do appreciate you coming along for this journey. Today I have a special announcement on what the direction of this podcast is going to be for the next couple of weeks. We have a series coming up, so thank you so much for joining in, and I'm really so excited that you're here.
Welcome to the crossroads where we meet. Young hearts collide, finding steady feet. In the chaos, balancing the climb. Wellness Junction, where we heal in time. Oh, we're talking changes, chasing dreams. Through the highs, the lows, the in-between. Together we rise, let the journey flow. At Wellness Junction, we're here to grow.
On the Wellness Junction podcast, we have conversations about the intersection of mental health and sexual and reproductive health amongst young adults. And so as we have gone through several episodes, one thing that I am picking up on is that it is more than just how mental health intersects with our sexual and reproductive health. There are so many more intersectionalities in our lives generally. And so specifically in young adulthood, it is the time when we are becoming ourselves more. We are differentiating ourselves from our ideas of who we wanted to be or who we were as when we were children. And so we are in this place where there is a past behind us, who we wanted to be, what our dreams were, what our hopes were, what we thought adulthood would look like from what we were taught, what we caught just through society, and the things that we are taught both directly and indirectly. And then it's also the time when we are sifting through what we have learned and what we have been told, and picking what we want to move forward with into a full-fledged adulthood. And so we are here to talk about not just how our mental health intersects with our sexual and reproductive health, but generally, how is our mental health impacted by, and how does it impact every other area of our life. So we'll be talking finances. How are those two related? We'll be talking definitely about our sexual and reproductive health, how it impacts our romantic relationships, how it impacts our faith and religion journeys, if that's something that applies to you. We will be talking about how it generally affects. We'll be talking about hobbies and recreation. We'll be talking about our social landscape, creating friends, knowing new people, but also our contribution to society in general. This whole idea, it rests on the fact that all of this is happening during a very tumultuous transition period. Something peculiar, I think, about this specific transition journey of young adulthood, where we are grappling with our identity and trying to find our footing around the world. Definitely, you can expect conversations about transitions and what that looks like in our lives, changing how we adapt to it, how it changes us, how we can navigate transition periods better generally, but specifically the young adulthood journey. I am inviting you to come on a journey where I know that you will not only learn more about how life is just so interconnected in ways that sometimes we don't even realize, but also I think that we will walk away from this season with more knowledge about ourselves. I hope that we can get more understanding about our seasons, and I hope that we can be more compassionate towards ourselves as young adults as we continue to move through life, because this season also comes with a lot of expectations that we feel, or sometimes even those expectations are communicated to us by the people that are around us. So I hope that we can learn to give ourselves more grace as we go through this season, and I hope that you can feel less alone as you go through your specific struggles. Invite a friend with whom you're walking this journey. I hope that we gather more solidarity on this journey as we speak about the challenges that we are facing, how we are rising from those challenges, the things that we are reckoning in this period of our lives, how we are choosing to move forward and not let our former experiences define who we become entirely in the present and also in the future. So there will be some hard stories to listen to, because definitely our past is riddled with challenges for each and every one of us. Some challenges are just more drastic than others, but regardless, we are all facing challenges in one way or another, and it is a celebration of how we are choosing to rise from those challenges. It is a celebration of how we are realizing that we can move forward. So I think I consider this series as a journey on moving forward, or moving maybe not moving forward per se, but moving toward. We have a goal that we are moving toward. I hope that it is a journey of acceptance, a radical acceptance of who we actually are, sifting through the ideas of identity that we have picked up along the way, as from our infanthood to our adolescence and now as young adults, and just sitting with those ideas and trying to figure out, so this is what I was labeled as, or this is the identity that I have accepted. Does this sit well with me, or do I want to figure something different for myself? And so I am welcoming you to a journey of reflection. I really do appreciate deeply when I can sit with myself or with a person and just sift through something that's currently going on, or something that has happened in the past, or something that I'm dreaming about, in order to find lessons, in order to find meaning. And so I am hoping that this journey can be that for us as well. And so I hope that throughout this season, we will realize that it is possible for us to flourish during our young adulthood. That is actually the whole reason why I really want to delve into this topic of the transition period of young adulthood, and how our mental health is impacted by that whole transition period, and how it in turn impacts our journey. The question that I have been asking myself, and it's the question that I'm exploring throughout this season, is how can we navigate through young adulthood in a way that enables us to flourish and to thrive? And of course, that begs to an even bigger question, which is how do we define flourishing, and how do we define thriving? How do we define living a good life, or a life that we really love? I know that the definition of that differs from one person to another. For one person, it means career success. For another person, it means having a family, establishing a family and setting down roots. For another person, it means traveling around the world. For another person, it means working towards an academic goal, getting a PhD. For another person, it means finding rooting in their faith. For another person, it means reconciling with their family. And for all of us, it is a combination of one or many of those sometimes even at a time. And so I do know that there are things that we long for on this journey. A grounded sense of identity. I would imagine that is something that we long for. Harmony in our relationships. Harmony, definitely, to the best of our ability. I think that we crave adventure during this season of our lives because we are exploring what is possible for us. I also think that for some, this might actually be a time when they want to set down roots and prepare for a life that is up ahead. And for some of us, setting roots actually looks like venturing out into the world to find what exactly is it that sets our hearts on fire. And so I really do hope that as we come along this journey, that you will have excitement in your bones to find more of who you are, more of what excites you, because I think it is constantly always said that, how do I translate? That the young life is fleeting, essentially. It comes and goes almost in a whim. And so I think that we want to spend it doing the things that we love. And I also want to, as it were, tear down that idea that ujana ni moshi. I know the people that said it knew what they were talking about. As I began to say, I began by saying time flies. Also, the days can really move slowly, but the years really fly by. And one day we will open our eyes and we will be in our 40s. And the reason why I want to debunk this idea that ujana ni moshi is the fact that our best lives are during this adulthood season. I think that we can really have a thrill and make the best of what this season of our lives has to offer, and also not feel like when we get into our mid years, let me say so, when we get further ahead, we feel like we can't experience that thrill, adventure, or I think that is possible for anyone at any age. And although this podcast and this season is specifically meant for young adults, but it is also really for anyone who is in a transition period of their lives and you are looking to live life more awake, that you do not really want to feel like your life is basically just passing by you and you are not making the best out of it. It is for anyone really who wants to live a more abundant life. I remember the thing that started me off of this journey, and that is where we will start from, what actually sent me on this journey and like what has inspired me to want to do this series on this podcast. It is just at a point in my life, because of a single question from a colleague, I realized that I was not participating in my own life. As much as I know that can sound a bit confusing, but I know that if you have felt it, it makes sense to you. I felt like the major decisions in my life, like what to do with my life, was always being decided, and I didn't like it, but I just felt like I had to stomach it. It felt like I was stomaching my own life, but always dreaming of more in the future and never really feeling like what I have here is worth enjoying. And so I don't really think it matters at what point you are in your life, whether you are in your early 20s or you're in your early 40s. I think that no matter when it happens in life, or no matter how many times it happens in life, we get to a point where we just really feel like there can be more life in our life, if you get what I mean. I know you do. And so this is also for all of us. So you can expect conversations unexpected perspectives on normal life issues, but I think you can also really expect really grounding and fulfilling conversations about what it means to embrace change and choose to live wholesomely. We get exhortations from social media, from people in our lives too. Some people say live in the moment, others say think more about your future. Sometimes some people say think more about your past in order to figure out where you want to go, yada yada. And I think that we can wholesomely look at those three areas of our lives and not feel like we have to lean into one more than the other. sometimes thinking about the present can take preeminence, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to think about the past or the future. And sometimes thinking about the future is the most reasonable thing to do during the season that we are in. It does not, however, mean that we don't enjoy the present or constructively and as much as we can without sitting too much into it, think about our past. And so if I can sum up what I would like for the next few episodes, so the next episodes during this season to look like, it will be like a reckoning of our past. It is, think about it as a junction where your past, your present, and your future self meet. Think about it that way, because I think that really grounds this idea of a wellness junction. It is, of course, the intersection between thinking about our lives more wholesomely as several areas of our lives intersecting: our career life, our family life, our other relationships, our pace of life, our physical health, and how we can tend to these areas in our lives to the best of our ability, but also where we think wholesomely about where we are coming from, referring to our past, where we currently are, or who we currently have, who we have become, or who we are right now, referring to the present, and also who we are longing to be, or what we are desiring to be, referring to our future. I think that we can think wholesomely about them. And so I hope that as we walk this journey together, that you will be inspired. You will be inspired in one way or another to take a look at what your journey so far has been like, to look into your past. Sometimes, depending on where you are right now, the past can usually be somewhere that you like looking at, or sometimes it can just be, oh my goodness, no thank you. And for some people, maybe the hard place is your present. Maybe you have had some really what you would consider good times in the past, but you just feel like the present really is not it. And for some of us, it's the future that is a hard thing to think about, maybe because of disappointments of the past or because of where we are currently. We can think the future can feel daunting. It can feel so uncertain. It is always uncertain in one way or another, but it can feel overwhelmingly uncertain. And those can contribute to us feeling, okay, I just need to think about the present. No need to think about the future. Or we can sometimes feel like, the past doesn't matter. Who needs to go back in time? Just focus on today and tomorrow. And yet, I think deep down, we know that all these three aspects of our lives count. And so friends, family, friends, welcome to the Wellness Junction Podcast. I am calling this season Quarter Life Chronicles. 25 is usually thought of as the quarter life period. That season of life, it's not necessarily the age, it's just that area of our lives, like the between 20 and 25, like late teens and early 20s. And yeah, I'm calling it Quarter Life Chronicles, where we will just talk about the journey of our late teens and early 20s, what life is looking like. So you can expect conversations from people who are within that period and how we are navigating it. You can expect conversations from people who have been who are already past that season of their lives and what their current seasons of their lives look like. And you can expect general conversations about how to navigate transitions in our lives, looking forward, looking back, staying in the present, and how that can help us to feel more rooted in our journey of life. I hope you are excited as I am. Next week we start with my story. On one end, I am really excited to share this journey. It has rocked my world. The past 3 years have rocked my world. I feel like such a different person from whom I was maybe in 2019. I feel like definitely, of course, I've done some growing up, of course. In the beginning of 2020, I was 20 years old. I am now just about to turn 26. I can't believe it. I was like, what? I did what? 25 felt like a big year when I was getting into it, and now thinking about the fact that I am getting into 26, it even feels like a bigger age. I'm like, what am I doing turning 26? And yet I know for some people, they're just like, oh my God, you're such a child, 26? It feels like a big age to me. And this journey has rocked my world. It has really impacted how I think about myself, how I think about other people, how I think about God, how I think about life in general. And so I'm here to share my journey with you. We'll start there next week, but you will also definitely hear from voices of other people. And I would very much to hear from you. So please share your thoughts, share your ideas. Our social media handles where you can very easily reach me. You will find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at the Wellness Junction Podcast. Yeah, that's where you can find. That's where you can find me, the Wellness Junction Podcast. So let's share ideas. Let's share our thoughts. Let's build a brotherhood or sisterhood, or a hood generally. Let's build a community of people who give solidarity to each other. If you have listened to this podcast especially our For You seasons, which come out every now and then on Tuesday, you know that I am really huge on solidarity, because I think that sometimes we just need that sense of solidarity, not someone who is us, or sometimes even empathy. I feel like it's over it. I'm like, I don't need you to give me solutions, or I need questions, or just stand with me. If I am fighting a battle, sometimes I just need to feel like someone is fighting it with me. That sense of solidarity. So I hope that as we walk through this journey, that we build a sense of solidarity, that we stop seeing each other as competition, we stop seeing each other as enemies or frenemies, that we build like a true sisterhood and brotherhood, where we just stand with each other, validate each other's experiences, give your nuggets, your advice, your wisdom whenever you want to, and every now and then just cheer someone else on. Yeah, just cheer someone else on, because sometimes what we just need to be reminded of is that we are okay and that we are doing really great, because in this period, honestly, it really feels like you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes, a lot of times, it can feel like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm starting a business. I have no idea how to run a business. Or I'm starting a podcast. What do people even do? Or I am going back to school. Or I am raising a child. Or I am tending to a relationship that was once broken, or I am getting married. If you just want to talk personally, I have left our WhatsApp number in the chat box. So please reach out to me and let's get the conversation going. Thank you so much for being here on the junction with me as we live to all go our different paths. I hope that you flourish on your way, friend. Bye and see you next time. The Wellness Junction Podcast is a production of Pamoja community-based organization. It is supported by the Northwestern University Access to Health Project with production assistance from Studio Spain Media Group. Please take a moment to follow the Wellness Junction Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you're listening. To learn more about how Pamoja CBO has impacted young people's lives over the past 15 years, please visit our website at www.pamojapamoja.org or our social media pages that are linked in the show notes. I have been your host, Jordana, and I can't wait to connect with you in the next one. Thank you for being here.